You don't say. Well, hello. We're here again. I actually just got off call from Ninja and her editor, who I will not be naming. And they dropped this like a few minutes ago, actually. So let's start, shall we? Zachary and Miles, because of course it is. Zachary paced back and forth in his office, hands in his pockets and frustration almost getting the better of him. He had asked Miles to meet him after work, and when he finally walked in, Zachary wasted no time getting to the point. Why are you working with Josh? His voice was low but sharp. Miles sighed, rubbing his temple. Tried fighting against him, Zach, but you don't understand the position I'm in. Then make me understand, Zachary demanded, his eyes locked onto his friend. Miles hesitated, glancing at the door as if making sure no one else was listening. Then, in a hushed voice, he said, Josh has connections, Zach. The kind that can ruin lives. You think I don't want to work for him? I don't. I have a family, too. If I don't cooperate, I lose everything. Zachary's jaw tightened. So you're telling me you're just going to let him get away with this? Let him keep climbing the ranks while he threatens people like us? What other choice do I have? Miles shot back, his voice laced with frustration. I have Caleb to think about, and don't act like you're any different. You signed his damn papers, didn't you? We're both stuck, Zach. That stunned more than Zach wanted to admit. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaling sharply. I can't keep my family here, Miles, he finally said. It's not safe anymore. I'm moving them out of town. Miles' eyes widened. You're serious? Dead serious. What about the Phantom Bloods? This is too big a risk, even for you. I'll find a way. I always do. Miles was silent for a moment before nodding. And you better make sure Josh doesn't find out. Because if he does, make sure you never leave. Zachary didn't need the warning. He already knew. And that's exactly why he was that's exactly why he was making his move. Before it was too late. Oh my. Cousin circumstances. Ooh, family drama. How nice. The sun had started to set, casting a golden glow over the park as Celestia and Carson sat near one of the picnic tables, catching their breath from running around with the other kids. Their older cousin, Naki, because of course that's what their name will be, had been watching them for a while before finally making his way over, hand stuffed into his pockets. You two still causing trouble? Naki teased, smirking as he sat on the bench across from them. Celestia huffed. We never cause trouble, Carson snickered. That's a lie. Shut up, Car, Celestia muttered, nudging him with her elbow. Naki chuckled before leaning forward. So where's Uncle Zach? He's missing out on your 5th birthday. The twins' smiles faded a little. Carson played with a loose thread on his sleeve while Celestia looked down at the table. He had work, Celestia said quietly. Naki raised a brow. Work? Or something else? The way he said it made Celestia shift uncomfortably. Naki was older. He saw things they didn't. Naki, you want to calm the fuck down with the 5-year-olds? Okay, maybe not have this conversation like right now. Carson was the one to speak up this time. We don't really know. He's been acting weird lately. Mom, well, she's mad at him again. Naki sighed, leaning back. Figures. Celestia looked up at him. Do you think something bad is happening? Naki hesitated. He wasn't sure how much he should say, how much they should know. But looking at their worried faces, he knew they deserved something. Listen, he said carefully. I don't know all the details, but I do know Uncle Zach has always put you guys first. No matter what's going on, he's trying to keep you safe. Carson frowned. Then why do Mom and Grandpa keep fighting about him? Grandma, that's what she is. That, please, why not? Why would I say Grandpa? I'm fucking stupid, I'm sorry. Maki sighed again, running a hand through his hair. Because adults suck at communicating. And Grandma, she doesn't trust him. She thinks he's just going to disappear on you guys one day. Celeste and Carson shared the look. But Dad wouldn't do that. Maki gave her a small smile. No, I don't think he would. Sometimes people are scared. They say things they don't mean. Like your mom, for example. She's scared too. That's why she gets mad. Kirsten kicked a small rock near his foot. I just wish they'd stop fighting. Me too, buddy, Maki admitted. But no matter what, you guys have each other. That's more important than anything. Other than like food and water. Celestia gave a small smile. You sound like Dad when you say stuff like that. Maki laughed. Yeah, maybe. Let's not get carried away. I'm still the cool one here. The twins laughed, the tension easing slightly. Night might have been uncertain, but at least they had each other. As night fell, Serenity stood at the edge of the gathering, arms crossed as she watched their children. She didn't know Zachary approaching until he was beside her. Something else, he murmured. Serenity turned to him, searching his face. And? Zachary exhaled. I think it's time we left this place for good. Serenity's heart sank. You mean the apartment downtown? The one we stayed in before? His voice was firm and certain. It's safer for all of us. Serenity looked back at her kids, then at the party still going on behind them. A fresh start, a way out. She met his gaze and nodded. Okay, let's go tell them. As the evening air cooled, the scent of grilled food and freshly baked desserts filled the park. Freshly baked? Like right now, freshly baked? At the park? I'm stupid, I'm sorry. The long tables were covered in trays of barbecues, homemade casseroles, and a variety of desserts brought by different family members. Despite the tension from earlier, everyone gathered around to eat, chatting between bites of food. Celestia and Carson sat with their cousins, happily munching on fried chicken and macaroni, while Naki filled his plate with ribs and cornbread. Meanwhile, Serenity and Zachary sat at the nearby picnic table, their plates untouched. Sadie joined them, nudging her sister's arm. You should eat. You barely had anything today. Serenity sighed, picking a piece of bread. Just a lot on my mind. Tiara, still tipsy but calmer now that she had a plate of food in front of her, gave Zachary a wary glance. So what's your excuse this time? She muttered. Is she allowed to be here? Zachary didn't take the bait. Just work. Tiara scoffed, shaking her head. Always work. Sadie quickly changed the subject. So what's the plan after this? You guys headed straight home, or are you staying for a bit? Serenity and Zachary exchanged a glance. Now is the time to tell them. Actually, Serenity said slowly, we wanted to talk to everyone about something important. Sierra gave an uninterested grunt while Sadie looked curious. The twins, however, were too busy stuffing their faces to notice their parents' serious conversation, as it should be. After everyone had eaten, they began settling into a more relaxed part of the gathering. Some played music to dance to, while others sat around chatting. Serenity and Zachary called the twins over to join them. They ran towards them, wiping their greasy hands on napkins before plopping onto the bench next to their parents. Serenity took a deep breath. Your dad and I have been thinking. With everything going on, it might be best we moved away from here. His froze. Celestia blinked. What? Carson frowned. Move? Like, move? Zachary nodded. Yes, somewhere safer. Remember the apartment downtown? When we stayed in for the vacation? Before? Celestia's eyes widened. No, I don't want to move. Carson crossed his arms. Me neither. All of our friends are here. Sadie raised a brow. This is 7. What happened, sis? Serenity sighed, glancing at Zachary before answering. It's just, things aren't safe here anymore. Celestia shook her head, standing up. No, we just got to see our family again. I don't want to leave them. Grandma, Aunt Sadie, Naki, and Sweetie. I know this is hard, Zachary said gently. But we have to go. But we have to do what's best for you and your brother. Carson looked between them, frustrated. But why do we have to go? What if we stay and be extra careful? Serenity rubbed her temples. It's not that simple. Sarah, finally realizing what was happening. You again. So you're running, just like that. Zachary's jaw tightened. It's not running, it's protecting the family. Sarah laughed dryly, shaking her hands. You sound just like him. Serenity stiffened. Don't. What? Like you don't see it? He's making you leave, just like your father made us leave everything behind. And guess what? It didn't change anything. Her mom is just like the worst. Serenity stood abruptly, her hands shaking. This is not the same. Isn't it? Her mother challenged. Zachary pulled Serenity back before she could argue further. We're not discussing this with her, he said calmly. Then turned back to the twins. We're leaving. It's happening. I know you don't like it, but we need you to both to trust us. Carson's lower lip trembled. But Dad, Celestia clenched her fists. This isn't fair. Sadie sighed, placing a hand on Serenity's shoulder. Are you sure about this? No, but if it keeps them safe. Serenity looked at her children, then at her husband. Yeah. Celestia and Carson sat in silence, looking heartbroken. After a long moment, Celestia mumbled, I don't want to go. Zachary reached out to comfort her, but she pulled away, storming off towards Naki. Carson followed after her, though he didn't run, just walked away with his arms crossed, looking betrayed. Serenity closed her eyes, inhaling deeply before turning back to Zachary. That went well. Zachary sighed. You'll understand one day. Serenity watched the twins disappear into the crowd. I hope so. As night continued, Serenity and Zachary watched the twins from a distance. They could feel their children's disappointment. But was this really the right choice? I hope so. Sorry if I'm reading poorly right now. It's 12 a.m. right now. You can actually see it. Chapter 5, The Cost of Protection. Oh god, here we go. The ride home from the gathering was tense. Celestia and Carson sat in the back seat with their arms crossed, refusing to look at their parents. Serenity tried to speak to them, but they couldn't bring themselves to engage in the conversation. When they finally pulled into the driveway, Celestia was the first to hop out, slamming the car door behind her as she stormed inside. Carson followed close behind her, his face twisted with frustration. Zachary sighed as he turned off the engine. That could have gone better. Serenity watched them walk inside. I knew they wouldn't take it well, but this is worse than I expected. They'll come around, Zachary said, placing a hand on her knee. Just a lot to take in. Serenity didn't respond, just stared at the house, knowing that once they walked in, the tension would only get worse. Inside, Celestia and Carson had locked themselves in the room. Beef so fucking fur right now. In the room. Leaving Serenity and Zachary to sit at the kitchen table alone. Finally, Serenity broke the awkward silence. You should go talk to them. Zachary hesitated, but then nodded. Yeah, I'll try. He got up and made his way down the hall, knocking gently on the twins' doors. Lestra? Carson? No response. She tried the door handle, but it was locked. Zachary sighed, pressing his forehead against the door. Guys, please, we need to talk about this. Still no answer. Inside the room, Carson stood near the window, watching as his sister shoved her shoes on. His eyes widened when he realized what she was about to do. Seriously? He whispered harshly. I need to get out of it. Bro, these are the most active 5-year-olds I've ever met before. Don't, 5-year-olds eat sand and stuff? Jesus. I need to get out of here. She flipped the latch off the window. I can't stay in this house and listen to them pretend this is fine. Carson grabbed her wrist. You don't have to do this. Just let's stay and figure it out, okay? She shook her head. There's nothing to figure out. They've already decided, Carl. We have to move and nothing we say is going to change that. Carson swallowed hard. He felt the same way, but sneaking out in the middle of the night wasn't gonna do them any more good. Where are you even gonna go? Celestia glanced out the window. Just to the lake to clear my head. That's too far. You know, Dad, I don't care, she snapped. Dad made this choice for us. I get to make one for myself. Before Carson could stop her, Celestia swung her legs over the windowsill and carefully lowered herself down. Her shoes crunched against the grass as she landed and took off towards the lake. Carson groaned under his breath. He glanced at the locked bedroom door. You're gonna get us both in trouble, he muttered to himself. After a heavy sigh, he climbed out after her. Jesus. The night air was cooling in Celestia's face as she walked. The lake wasn't too far, but far enough that she felt some distance from the house. She stopped at the edge of the water, staring at her reflection beneath the moonlight, her fingers clenched into fists. She didn't want to leave, to say goodbye to the life they had here, to their home, everything that felt safe. Carson's voice broke through her thoughts. You could have just yelled into a pillow instead. She turned to see him standing a few feet away, arms crossed. Why did you follow me? Because I knew you'd do something dumb, he sighed, and walked closer. And because whether you want to admit it or not, you don't want to be alone right now. Celestia didn't answer, just stared back at the water. Carson sat down beside her, drawing his knees to his chest. It sucks. Yeah, it really does, Celestia said, flatly. For a while, they just sat there in silence, the sounds of crickets and rustling leaves filling the space between them. Eventually, Carson said quietly, You know we have to go back soon, right? Celestia didn't answer right away, just stared out at the water, her emotions simmering beneath the surface. The fuck? She just stared out at the water, her emotions simmering beneath the surface. The fuck? The writing's fire? What the fuck? The fuck? Oh, fuck you, dude. Okay. I guess I just had to settle for just saying in the video. The fuck? Carson waited, trying to give her the space her sister needed. When she didn't move, he let a frustrated sigh. Sal, come on. You have to go back before Mom and Dad find out we snuck out. I'm not ready to go back yet. Yeah, well, neither do I. But running away to the lake isn't gonna change anything. Celestia said slowly, her fingers curling into fists. Again. She sucked in the breath, her voice chanting. I hate them for doing this to us. Carson frowned. You don't mean that. Yes, I do, she snapped, spinning towards him. They're forcing us to leave everything behind like it doesn't matter. Like we don't matter. Carson flinched from the anger in her voice, but he didn't back down. That's not true. Lest your wrath, there was no joy in him. Oh, please, you're just going along with it because that's what you always do. You never fight back. You just let them decide everything for us. Carson's face twisted. Jesus. Jesus fucking Christ. Carson's face twisted in frustration. What do you want me to do? Is someone at my door? No one's at my door. I'm schizophrenic. Carson's face twisted in anger. What do you want me to do, Sal? Tell them no? What's that gonna change? Car, you don't get it. No, you don't get it. Carson snapped back at her, standing up now. You're so busy being angry that you're not even thinking straight. You think throwing a tantrum is gonna fix this? Newsflash, Celestia, it won't. Celestia's whole body tense with barely containing anger as it rolled over. I hate you, she shouted. Jesus. The words were out before she could stop them, sharp and louder than she intended. It's like Anakin Skywalker. I hate you. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Carson froze, his face shifting from frustration into disbelief. The hurt in his eyes hit her like a punch to the chest. He stared at her as if he didn't recognize the person in front of him for a brief moment. Celestia didn't either. Her breath caught in her throat. The anger draining just as quickly as it came. Carson, I didn't mean. She took a step back, desperate to undo what had happened, but her foot found only loose, slick soil. The edge of the river crumbled beneath her weight, and a heartbeat, the world tilted, and she was falling. The cold hit her like a wall. Icy water had surged around her, pulling her under before she could scream. The surface vanished in a blur of light bubbles. Celestia! Wait, what the fuck? Celestia! Carson yelled for his sister as she was taken underneath the water. She thrashed as panic kicked in, but she was only taken further down the stream. Ninja, fuck you. What the fuck do you mean that's where you're gonna end up? We should... Ninja... I'm angry now. I'm angry. Who told you that was okay? Ninja, who the fuck told you that it was okay to do that? Who told you? Hello, friends. Thanks for stopping by. Fuck you. Who do you think you are? You big fucking... Okay. Okay, we're stopping this now.